the beautiful Bay Area, playing host to another Super Bowl. Hey, that bridge is going to turn 100 years old in less than a decade. The Golden Gate, one of the many sights and sounds in the Bay as we get set for Super Bowl 60 in Santa Clara. The Seattle Seahawks taking on the New England Patriots. A little bit of a Super Bowl rematch. Hey, everybody, welcome to Super Bowl Today Vantage Point, presented by Verizon. Patrick Claybon, Marcus Grant. We could call it a rematch. We could say it's revenge, more so for the fans, because a lot of these guys, some of them were in high school. A lot of them were.
Yeah, it's not so much a rematch as much as it's a re-meeting of two franchises that once played a Super Bowl before. I guess that's the way to say it, because there's very little in common between what happened several years ago and what's potentially going to happen this week. But nonetheless, should be fun. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, Super Bowl means a lot of alumni are coming through, and so it's like when you're at an apartment, somebody comes by with their family, like, hey, I used to live here. It's like, cool. I don't know you. Let's take a look at the guys we do know who are going to be on the show today. Great guest list. The rookie Ashton Jeanty gets a new coach, a new opportunity there in Las Vegas. Trevor Lawrence, one of 5 key Jacksonville Jaguars with 2 first names. We're not counting Parker Washington because he has 2 last names, but still a great quarterback, a great year for the folks in Jacksonville. Brock Purdy and another 49er joining the show as they are playing this game in their home stadium. Bijan Robinson and the Pro Football Hall of Famer Brian Urlacher, all on today's edition of Super Bowl Today. Let's discuss these quarterbacks, the comparisons between them for the 2025 season. Drake May has looked pretty good the regular season, the playoffs. Mostly Sam Darnold. Better pass touchdown interception ratio, passer rating better, has given up fewer sacks, and has committed no turnovers. Sam's been pretty good in the postseason. That being said, Marcus Grant, which quarterback is more crucial to their team winning Super Bowl 60?
I don't think there's very much doubt it's going to be Drake May. He's been the guy. I know our pal, our colleague, Bucky Brooks, sometimes likes to talk about trucks versus trailers. And, I don't want to say Sam Darnold is a trailer. He hasn't just been along for the ride. But Drake May has very much been the truck for this team. He's been the guy kind of pulling this offense. He's the guy that has to make big plays in order for the offense to succeed and for the Patriots to win more often than not. And so, I think we're going to see this weekend, if Drake May does not show up and play at a high level, if he's not sort of that MVP caliber player he was during the season, I think the Patriots are going to have a very hard time winning. Whereas for Sam Darnold, look, you just have to not make mistakes and let the guys around you, especially on the defensive side, go out and just do their thing.
Yeah, it comes down to the team around the quarterback, Marcus, and I'm echoing every single point that you just made, where we feel more confident in what the Seattle Seahawks have been, not necessarily to go full college football like a lot of people are talking about the Patriots not playing anybody. They've had the easiest. You can only play who's on your schedule. Like, all of these guys are professionals. They all grew up.
Nobody, Paul.
Yeah, the best player in their entire community. Like, it's professional football. It's the NFL. They've made the Super Bowl. It's not our sisters of the poor that the Patriots were playing. They played a couple of really good defenses. In fact, 3 of the best defenses in the entire NFL on the way here. They're going to have to beat another one, and that's why. Again, we're not being dismissive of Sam and his opportunities and accomplishments. It's just Drake May would have to accomplish a whole lot to be a part of this game. Now, in terms of the game, we get a lot of Super Bowl excitement, especially the folks being excited about halftime.
This is what we grind for, man. Leave it all on the field. I ain't come this far just to come this far.
We said all along, you got to be willing to spill some blood.
Your quarterback get an MVP here. Throws it back corner for Hooper. Reaches up and makes the catch. Another perfect pass by Sam Darnold.
Chance of MVP for Drake May.
JSN. He's going to go in. Touchdown, Seahawks. Throws it to the end zone for Diggs. Reaches up, comes down. What a catch. Are you kidding me? What a job by the Seahawks defense. Boom! Let's go!
Unbelievable. Super Bowl 60.
And the Seahawks are going back to the Super Bowl.
Our 2 participants in the Super Bowl with the accoutrement of Bad Bunny, who will perform at halftime. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to this performance where, we talk about the quarterbacks. Let's extract the quarterbacks from this, because generally they're the ones that are going to be considered for the MVP. Right. You win, it's a quarterback win, it's a whole thing. We're trying to fix it. We can't. Which non-quarterback is going to have the biggest impact on Super Bowl 60?
I'm going to go with Nick Emmanwori. We've talked a lot this week about the Seahawks defense. Understandably, they are arguably the best defense in the league, certainly the best one standing, I would say, statistically. And Emmanwori has been such a catalyst there because of what he does from his safety position, where he's important in the passing game, but he also steps up and fits the run. You see him here making plays in the backfield, just shutting it down in any which way and form. Now, I know he suffered a little bit of an ankle injury during practice this week. The reports are it's not serious, which is going to be really important. But for a guy who has come in as a rookie and immediately made such a big impact on a team that has a chance to win a title, I think he has to continue to be that much of an impact player coming up on Sunday.
Yes, and he has been great, and we love being positive about folks, but I'm unfortunately going to be the bearer of bad news, and that's the fact that the Seattle Seahawks have at right guard one of the lowest graded offensive players in Pro Football Focus history. It is their right guard, unfortunately, Anthony Bradford, gets the spotlight in this one. In terms of, and thank you to the folks who got us some Anthony Bradford footage of him, at least, I think Kobe Turner's
that's probably a penalty.
Beat him on that rep, maybe a little bit of holding.
Might be a penalty.
But in terms of impact on the game, Sam Darnold needs to be upright, needs to protect the ball. And there were multiple plays, great plays, that Sam Darnold had to make specifically because Anthony Bradford was not doing what he does in these two clips. It was apparently very difficult to find Bradford video of, successfully blocking. But he got his hands up there. And I think he's going to need to get his hands on somebody. Otherwise, he will have a big impact in a negative fashion on Super Bowl 60. Let's bring it back positive. We saw some great players, great moments last night at NFL Honors. One of the best players in the game, Bijan Robinson, up there for Offensive Player of the Year. Opportunity to talk to Bijan earlier today on NFL Network.
One of the reasons you're fun to watch, man, is you seem to be having so much fun and you're so really emotional. You and I have talked in the past about theater and acting, and you have the masks, like the smiling mask and the sad mask. When you're a running back on the field, what is the happiest feeling you have, and what is the saddest feeling?
The happiest feeling is like when you see that hole open up, and you just know like it's go time from there.
Yep.
And you're gonna be hard to stop no matter what happens. The saddest time is like when you see two defenders in the backfield, and I'd be like, and then trying to find a way to make them miss.
Yeah, and you do.
But a lot of times I do, but like if you don't, man, that's hurt.
When you do all that, I mean, you have the craziest jukes in the league right now.
Yes.
Like you're open, absolutely insane.
Yeah.
How does it happen in your brain when you see something in front of you and then your body starts doing these incredible movements? What message goes from your brain to your legs and your arms? How does that work?
I mean, I'll just say that's a God-given ability, but like when I'm on the field, it's just instinct. Like as soon as I see it, as soon as I see defenders, I have a plan like already. And obviously my plan is to get north and south, but if I try to put them in conflict and if I try to put them in such a state where they just start getting sweaty and their eyes, like the craziest thing is like when their eyes start like getting big.
You see that?
I see that, yeah.
See that? Does it slow down for you in that
It slows down. It slows down. And so when I'm slowing it down and their eyes start to, I already know I have them.
You got it.
I got it. No matter
those eyes, gotcha.
Facts.
I gotta imagine, bro, that there's one person's eyes got big when they saw you. It had to be your new head coach, Kevin Stefanski.
Oh, yeah.
In a good way.
Great way.
I already know when next year when I come up for my fantasy draft, who I'm drafting first, based on how Kevin Stefanski has utilized his running backs. Number one, how do you feel about the hire and how excited about this going forward for the Falcons?
Yeah, I mean, I'm really excited about it. I talked to Kevin, and great human being.
Yep.
Like and the cool thing is like he has a plan already, and you already know he sees the vision of the team. He sees the vision of what he wants.
He's gonna run the ball.
He'll run the football. Run the football. But like even talking to him, like he just knows how to utilize everybody for their skill sets, and he just knows how to put everybody in the right positions, and I'm super excited about that because I mean I add more to the run, more than the run game. Like I'm pass game, I do a lot of different things on the football field. So to hear his plan and to hear what he has to say is pretty awesome. So I feel great about it. I know everybody else does too, and I just can't wait to get to work.
So let's pivot a little bit. Talk about Super Bowl 60. I know it's a little bittersweet because you won't be playing in the game.
Yeah.
But you did play both the Patriots and the Seahawks this season.
Oh, cool.
Which defense was more challenging for you? What were the matchups like? Give us a little insider, a little scouting on both these Ds.
Yeah, I think so. For the Seahawks, I mean, I had a better game against the Seahawks.
Okay.
But their defense flies around. Flies around when they get going. Like all that talent on that defense is pretty hard, and they do so many like crossing schemes. They're a 4-man rush, and they got so much athletes in the back end. So like for me, it was kind of tougher to dissect the runs because obviously that was their game plan: stop the run. Like don't let the run get going. Else it's going to be hard. So I just saw a lot of athletes on that defense, and then the Patriots defense. You know, they got 2 big men in the front, those 2 D linemen, and
Milton.
They're the runners of that defense. And without them, you can kind of run on them, but like when they're both in the game, they stop everything. And then obviously they have great DBs in the back end. So I'll probably have to say the Seahawks have a way more athletic defense. But then the Patriots, they're just like super built tough and bend don't break type of defense.
Bijan, you're like the perfect NFL athlete because you're tough, you're talented, you're skilled, and kids look up to you, and they should, because you are a classy, happy person. Your smile doesn't need any more help than it already has, but Colgate Total has your support. What is going on with them this week?
Yeah, so my partnership with Colgate, it's been amazing. Obviously, I pride myself on health in the field, and I pride myself on preventing, any injuries or preventing any health situations before they start. So Colgate Total Active Prevention, the toothpaste and the toothbrush are big in preventing anything, before anything starts.
Problems arise.
The big problems. And, it's been such a key partnership to me because I'm very big with my teeth. I'm very big with what goes on in this area right here. So
it's your moneymaker, baby.
There it is.
Yeah.
That's it. I get it.
And with Colgate, it's been amazing to see like me trying to prevent these problems and me trying to make it happen because I don't like going to the dentist. Not a fan. So, being with them has been amazing.
Shout out to the Mouth Bones and all that they provide. Great work there with the GMFB folks and Bijan Robinson. Let's talk about what Kevin Stefanski can do. What are your expectations for the Atlanta Falcons? Will Bijan have a great Colgate smile at the end of the season?
I think he will. You heard Manti Te'o talking about drafting him #1 overall in fantasy. I think that's kind of the early consensus among the fantasy folks there. And it speaks to the ability that Bijan Robinson has, but also how his team sort of relies on him over the course of the season. And I think you can sort of take what Kevin Stefanski did in Cleveland as a little bit of a guiding light there, right? He comes from a team where, he had a good defense. He had a pretty good running game. He had some quarterback issues. He goes to Atlanta. He's got a good defense. He's got an outstanding running back. He's got quarterback issues. So I think it's going to be a situation where they're going to lean on Robinson. We've seen the ability he has both as a runner and a receiver. They talked about the way he just is, put a lot of defenders in the shadow realm. We see it right here, him just kind of running through defenses. So, I think this is going to be a competitive team. Patrick, you know this. It's a division that's pretty wide open. I think there are 3 teams there certainly that have a chance to win this thing. So I wouldn't be surprised if we're talking about the the Falcons competing for a playoff spot when we get down to November, December.
Yeah, a weird situation at the end of the season where it was basically a 3-way tie, and you had 2 teams playing to send another team, either team, into the postseason. I think there could be great things ahead for the Atlanta Falcons. The franchise shift probably something that Kevin Stefanski needed. There won't be as much lake effect anything playing there in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, I guess, unless you go up and you go to Lake Lanier and your boat gets abducted by the haunted ghost.
Don't do that.
As they had to smash communities to build that particular reservoir. But great things ahead for the Atlanta Falcons. More to come here on Super Bowl today as we get a chance to see Brock Purdy. Does he feel like he's on the rock right now, having to watch the Seahawks play in his own stadium? Ashton Jeanty as well. A couple great guests on the way on Super Bowl Today Vantage Point, presented by Verizon.
Another perfect pass by Sam Darnold. Are you kidding me? Oh, baby! That's a big-time throw, baby. Boy, he has been a star for the Seahawks.
Drake May's numbers. His numbers are that good.
Sam Darnold, you wild man, you! nosotros quién va a hablar si no nos dejamos ver. Dropping that baby in the bucket.
Chance of MVP for Drake May.
Come on!
Looking forward to Super Bowl 60. There is Coit Tower atop Telegraph Hill, about 46 miles away from where the Super Bowl will be played there at Levi's Stadium. It's also where Brock Purdy plays his football. Brock Purdy interviewed this week with Mike Yam, MJD, and Michael Robinson.
I had an opportunity to be up in the Bay Area a couple times and talk to some of your teammates. They love you. I mean, when you got that starting job and hearing George Kittle talk about what you were doing, practice squad, the whole thing, it was just really impressive. And to see you shine, because that story about being Mr. Irrelevant is, in my opinion, irrelevant now at this point because of the success you've had in the NFL. Explain to me, because as a guy that's gone up against the Seattle team, why do you think they're playing on Sunday?
Man, they got a good team overall. You know, Sam's doing a great job leading the charge on offense. Clint Kubiak calling plays. Like they have a good squad on that side, and then their defense obviously really good. Good pass rush with their defensive line, and I think McDonald's has done a really good job with coaching them up with all the details in the secondary and not allowing explosive plays down the field. I mean, so you got to tip your cap to them, man. They're a good team, and now here they are in the Super Bowl.
Brock, you kind of mentioned it right there. You spent some time with Clint Kubiak, who's now the Seattle Seahawks offensive coordinator. All reports out there saying he's probably going to be the next head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. What about him makes him a head coach in the National Football League, and how happy you are to see his success?
Yeah, he's done a really good job, just with his offense and growing. And I think it was cool for him to be able to go to San Francisco with us a couple years ago and bounce ideas and things off with Kyle Shanahan and take that with him. So he's done a really good job with scheme-wise and calling plays. And but just who he is as a person, man, Clint's an awesome guy, and he's a leader of men. And so I'm really happy for him, if he does, get this head coaching job at the Raiders. And he really deserves it, man. He's going to do a great job, and love what he stands for. And just as a whole, man, he's going to do a really good job with it.
When you think about, Kyle Shanahan, your play caller, your head coach, and you guys have always seemed to be like right there knocking on the door of being in the Super Bowl or winning it. In your opinion, how do you get over the hump?
I think, man, it just comes down to how can we be the best version of ourselves week in and week out, and obviously the health. Being able to, stay healthy throughout the year, man. Like, that's the name of the game in the NFL. Guys have, gone down, and some crucial guys. And we've had really good guys come in and step up and do a good job. But, I think more than anything, if we can, put a full season together with each other and, find ways to win close games, we're a dangerous team. And we've done it year in and year out. And so it's just about, finding a way to finish at the very end, too. And we got the right guys in the building. We just got to do it.
No question. Niners are always trouble when everyone's healthy. Sam Darnold was with you guys when you went to the Super Bowl. Have you talked to him? And not only have you talked to him, did you give him some advice as he'll be starting his first Super Bowl?
Love Sam, everything about him. I haven't reached out or anything, and I know he's really busy with, prepping, and Sam's done a great job. I mean, he's a pro's pro. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the league, man. So I'm obviously letting him do his thing, and really happy for him more than anything, and just what he did for me in 2023 coming in. And he was a great backup and taught me a lot and was there for me. And to see him go to Minnesota and now Seattle and have success, man, I'm really happy for him. And, he's leading that team really well. Has earned the respect of everybody in the league. So I wish him nothing but the best.
Brock, before we let you get going, I can't help but notice you're rocking a pretty nice jacket there. It's got Toyota on it. It's the reason why you're on with us. I'm sitting on set with two guys that love the sport of flag football, Mike Robb and MJD, coach and being around it. Would love to know what it's like to partner with Toyota to spread the love of flag football so that everyone can play this game.
Yeah, they've done such a good job, Toyota, with spreading the love of flag football and the sport as a whole across our country, and for everyone to play. Last night we had the Toyota Glow Up Classic where we had some high school girls playing on the Pro Bowl field, and it was glow in the dark, and we were scoring touchdowns, jumping in Toyota Tundras and stuff. So it was fun. But they've done a great job, and I'm very honored to be able to partner with them in it. And overall, man, we absolutely love Toyota.
Yeah, Brock, by the way, one other thing, and I know we don't have necessarily time for it, but it was really cool around Christmas to see you give away, I think it was 9 Toyotas.
Yeah, and listen, man, you could always come to the crib and drop one off at my house. I'm just saying.
If you are able to drive to work with a Toyota that you did not know was coming, that would be an X factor. It's time for Vantage Point, presented by Verizon. As we look to some Super Bowl X factors, if you had to pick one out that people are not maybe necessarily thinking about right now, who's the unknown?
I'm going to go with Rashid Shaheed, who was kind of a big addition. It took him a while to sort of, I think, fully integrate himself into what the Seahawks were doing, but since he has, he's become a big play guy. Look, you go back to that NFC Championship game, or the divisional game for the 49ers and the Seahawks. About the only thing the Niners won in that game was the coin flip, because it kicked off to Rashid Shaheed. He ran it back for a touchdown. That was pretty much all she wrote in that one. And then the next week against the Rams in the NFC Championship game, he has a long catch, a big explosive play in that one. And I think that's sort of what you expect out of him, whether it is on special teams, whether it's on offense. Maybe not get a guy who gets his hands on the ball a lot, but when he does, watch out, because great things can happen.
You know what? He's such an X factor. Why don't I look over to the guy who might be tasked with covering Rashid Shaheed on some of those deep routes? Is Carlton Davis, who has been great in this postseason. He had those 2 interceptions against the Houston Texans, played very, very well against the Denver Broncos. Carlton Davis coming over, a big part of what makes this team so good in the ability to acquire free agent talent and utilize it. So I think Carlton Davis is going to have to play well, and that's why he is an X factor.
Well, I'm going to go with another Patriot, this one on offense, and that's going to be Mac Hollins, who I was told was spotted on Media Row without wearing shoes. I suspect he will be wearing footwear when he plays in the game on Sunday. We know how good the Seahawks secondary can be. I don't expect there's going to be a lot of separation from Patriots receivers, but I think Mac Hollins is a guy who can win contested catches. He can go up and high point the football, so it might be a situation where if you are Drake May and the pocket is collapsing and you can't find anybody open, it's like, hey, 13 is down there somewhere. Just throw it up there, see if he can go get it, because you might need some of those explosive plays to help you move the ball down the field.
Well, Marcus, people might not think this next player is an explosive player, but Michael Dixon is worth yardage. We saw the punting disparity in the AFC Championship game. I don't think things get any better for New England in this one. One of the best in the game at getting kicks down inside the 5-yard line. In terms of flipping field position, I think he can do it. He's got a big leg, and it also keeps one of the Patriots' biggest weapons in their punt returner from being a factor in this game in the way that Rashid Shaheed can be a factor. It's so many different parts of the game to watch. That's what makes it fun. Another big part of having fun is getting into that Verizon fan experience there in Santa Clara this week.
Verizon Access is your passport to the game's most exhilarating experiences, connecting you to your favorite teams and creating memories that last a lifetime. Exclusively for Verizon customers.
Get ready for Super Bowl 60. NFL Game Day Morning goes live for 8.5 hours from Santa Clara, starting at 9 a.m. Eastern. Exclusive interviews with Mike Vrabel, Stephon Diggs, Sam Darnold, Jackson Smith and Jigba, and Mike McDonald. That and so much more. It is Super Bowl Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern. And speaking of special guests, Ashton Jeanty was hanging out with the Super Bowl Live crew earlier.
From a rookie year, obviously, look, the team success, not nearly what you guys wanted, but what were some of the moments of positivity that you'll take with you from your rookie year?
Yeah, thanks for having me. And, I think just continue to persevere, through tough times. Obviously, we didn't expect the season to go that way. But, I took a lot from it. I learned a lot about myself and, even some of the guys on the team that I'll continue to get to build relationships. And, we're just excited, to head into the next year. And, we got a new script and we get to write it.
Well, it's going to be a new era for the Raiders. Obviously, new head coach coming aboard, and it's obviously expected to be Clint Kubiak, who will be calling the game for the Seahawks offense on Super Bowl Sunday. Just kind of curious, how much you watched Kenneth Walker and Charbonnet in that run game up in Seattle.
Yeah, and I've definitely watched them a good bit. They've had a great season. It's been fun to watch. Even my guy George Halani.
That's
shout
right.
out to my Bronco
Nation.
Getting a little Bronco Nation for sure. But yeah, it's been great to see what they've been able to accomplish, especially here in the postseason.
You're out there with Brock Bowers. You two are two of the younger premier players in the league. How do you guys bounce things off each other, and how do you guys push each other to be better for the years to come?
Yeah, I think it's continuing to, build a relationship, get to know each other, personally. I feel like when you know your guys more personally, then you know what it takes to push them. And, we're going to continue to just get better and, build off each other, because as much as, he balls out and, he makes plays down the field, it makes my job easier, to be able to run against lighter boxes and things. So, and, Brock he's an amazing player, and, we definitely felt it when he was, out for that, time early in the season.
Ashton, I got to ask you, it's such a unique situation. Tom Brady, some would reference as the GOAT, the greatest of all time. He's around the building. Have you had an opportunity to talk to him? And if so, what's it like to learn from someone who's had so much success at the NFL level?
Yeah, I mean, I've gotten to talk to him a good bit, and it's honestly been great to, just to dive into his mentality, how he thinks, his process, when he was playing the game. I remember before, training camp, he came and gave a speech to the team, and, his story is just truly an inspiration.
Man, that's awesome. I see you in the Sharpie jacket, obviously, partnering with Sharpie. You talked to us earlier, though, about, getting a chance to write a new script. So what would you write down there in permanent Sharpie marker for Ashton Jeanty and the Raiders going into 2026?
Oh man, it's gonna be great, man. It's gonna be a turnaround for sure. And obviously I got the honor of being one of the Sharpie rookies of the year.
Yeah.
But I get another great opportunity. I get to pass it down to one of the top backs coming into the draft, Jeremiah Love. And obviously he's, been making some bold moves on the field, and, Sharpie's making bold moves off the field. So it's only right, for me to pass it down to him.
Bold moves for the Las Vegas Raiders as Ashton Jeanty. We want to pick him back up, Marcus. It was a rough year. It's going through, he's talking about surviving adversity in his rookie year. How can they turn things around?
I mean, look, I think we're being honest here. This is a multi-year project for the Las Vegas Raiders to get things going from where they were. I mean, some of it starts along that offensive line, right? You've invested in a running back like Ashton Jeanty. You have a great young tight end in Brock Bowers. More than likely, they're going to spend the #1 overall pick on Fernando Mendoza, but it doesn't really matter until they fix those 5 guys up front, because the Raiders had arguably the worst offensive line in the NFL last year. And you know as well as anybody, what happens in the trenches goes a long way toward determining the success and failure of a football team. So this is going to be a situation where, it's not likely. I know we see every year a team that goes from being awful to somehow being a playoff contender the very next year. For the Raiders, it feels like this is step 1 in what's going to be a multi-year process to kind of get the silver and black back to that long-standing commitment to excellence that Al Davis always drilled into us.
Yeah, the goal in being successful in the process is to have one, and not just kind of ham-fist your way through where you've got Fernando sitting there as if he's got the sorting hat on his head, begging them to not call his name Fernando. But I think in the sense of what the Raiders can do, just provide the vision. Like make the case to Fernando Mendoza and to the folks in Las Vegas, the players on the roster, as to how that they can accomplish things, because kind of going through it piecemeal and assembling things, and you put Tom Brady and Pete Carroll all into the blender and blended it all, it didn't work. It was bad. And so just to start over from the studs and acknowledge that this is going to take some time and get the young man some opportunities starting up front, because as Ashton Jeanty points out, they have 2 of the most talented players in college football in the last 10 years currently on their team. They're just going to need a little more talent to make things work there in Sin City. We got more work coming up here on Super Bowl Today. Vantage Point presented by Verizon. We got some star player projections on the way for Super Bowl 60. Yes, the seafood is available. You can take the crabs back. Trevor Lawrence won't eat them. He'll be coming up on our show next. Stick with us. We're back on Super Bowl Today. Vantage Point presented by Verizon. An aerial look there at Levi's Stadium ahead of Super Bowl 60. The Seattle Seahawks taking on the New England Patriots. We cannot wait for Sunday. In fact, why don't we project what some of the top players will do in this game statistically? Marcus Grant, we will start with your fellow USC Trojan, Sam Darnold. What does he do?
Fight on forever around these parts. Yeah, we're going to go to completions. We'll give him a nice 20 there. Look, maybe not a ton of deep passes, but he had a couple of big chunk plays. We'll give him 200 and
this is a solid Sam Darnold game.
Yeah, right. We'll give him a good game, and I'm gonna be nice. Maybe this is my cardinal and gold glasses here. We'll give him 2 touchdowns as well. I think. Look, it's gonna be a game where I think he'll perform better than expected, right? We've been saying all week he has to just not make mistakes, but let's be honest. I mean, that game against the Rams. He went toe-to-toe with the MVP, Matthew Stafford. I don't think he's going to have to put up quite those numbers against this Patriots defense. I'm not sure that New England can score to the level that the Rams could, but I still think Sam Darnold's going to go out there and have a good game. We didn't have it. Look, I could see a giveaway. There may be, one that goes to the wrong team, but overall, I think it's a good day for Sam.
A good day for Sam, and we're kind of on the same page with regards to what we think Drake May needs to do in this game. And we know the Patriots are one of the better jumbo run teams in the NFL. I think the game script does project for Drake May and the Patriots to be behind a little bit. So I'm going to sit him at 255 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. Some of those may come late, but a big part, Marcus, of the situation, I'm going to get into the 40s for Drake May's rushing yards, because here's one thing, and I'll say this because I care about the people watching us right now. If you fix your face to say that Drake May is sneakily athletic, I will find you and fight you with my fist. Drake May, there's video evidence of him being athletic.
He's just regular
for
athletic.
Years. His brother won a national championship at basketball. He had multiple offers as a basketball player and a football player. There's nothing sneaky about his athleticism. I think he runs for about 40 plus in this game, Marcus.
All right, I can see that being certainly the case. So now we'll go to Jackson Smith-Njigba, the guy who's been fantastic all year long. He is now your Offensive Player of the Year in the National Football League. No real surprise there. He's been fantastic. I'm going to give him double-digit catches. We'll give him 11 to match the number on his jersey. We're going to put him over. He's going to get in the triple digits. I mean, let's just keep it a buck.
Yeah, let's go. Jay, I said more catches, 11 catches. We'll get you close.
We'll get you over that. So
we'll like rookie year Jalen Waddle.
All right, how about we'll just randomly stop it right there. And we'll give him one of those tutties too that I have Sam Darnold throwing as well. I think it's going to be a great game for JSN. So far, no one across the NFL has figured out how to slow him down on a consistent basis. He's got 10 games, including the playoffs, with 100 receiving yards this season. He's been fantastic in the postseason. When they need him the most, he shows up. They're going to need him a lot this weekend.
A guy that the Patriots will need a lot and have needed a lot this postseason has been Ramondre Stevenson. Of course, the thing people probably paying the most attention to is going to be the carries. I think it's going to be 22 carries for the Travion contingency there, maybe the smattering of carries. He's a home run hitter. He might have the ability to hit him. They're playing against the Seattle Seahawks defense, so I'm going to sit that number right there at 49 yards. And again, the touchdowns may be tough to come by. We got Drake May throwing for a couple. I'm going to give Ramondre a touchdown as well. Just such a good runner, such a versatile player. And I think a lot of the reason people doubt Ramondre is that 38 can be relatively nasty in terms of watching a running back play football. It changed a number of folks' belief in Ramondre would go up. But I think he has a solid game. Again, this is a solid game in the Super Bowl for those hoping the numbers look super good. It's a rough defense. A quarterback that played against some good defenses this season. Trevor Lawrence sitting down with our Super Bowl Live crew this week.
Obviously, big Jags fan. Sons and families, big Jags fans. What was it like coming to the Bay Area and hearing some of the support of the Jags fans that were there? And then, 2, do you still have the grill? That's the question. Is the grill still working?
Yeah, I don't have it with me here, but it's at my house.
Okay.
I still got it. It'd be a cool keepsake that I'll keep with me just to look back on. Just a cool memory. Pretty funny. But anyways, yeah, I mean, Jags fans out here everywhere, really across the country. I mean, they show up. We're not the oldest team. We're not necessarily the biggest city or anything like that, but it's the way our fan base shows up each and every week is really cool. And especially when you had the year that we did, just the support that we feel to have that home field advantage, and the fans really showed up at the end of the season and were loud. And I think it's really exciting when you can get that going for your community. It's awesome.
Now, Trevor, you guys went 13-4 this year, man. Great season. Actually, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. It surprised me. I've been giving MJD hell for a long time about the Jacksonville Jaguars, but you guys turned it around this year. Talk about your new head coach and Liam Cohen and kind of how he's affected not just this team, but your career personally.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say enough how awesome he's been. Just the leadership, the mindset. You know, he's got a very intense guy, and that intensity that he brings is genuine. It's authentic. He's that way in a team meeting on a Monday, not just on the sideline on Sunday. I mean, so what everybody sees in that picture you see of him is who he is, and I think he's so detailed in the process. He works his tail off every day to give us all the answers, to put us in the best position possible to go have a chance to win the game. And I think that's guys see that, and you can't trick players. I mean, guys know what's real, what's not, and I think the way he approached it's been really fun. We've all kind of played with that chip on our shoulder because he embodies that, and I think it's really spread throughout our team, and it was a lot of fun, you know, this first year playing for him, you know, game planning together, and just excited for another year in the system and just to build off what we started.
I saw some critical throws that you made against Buffalo, and I know it didn't play out the way that you had wanted, but the evolution for you as a quarterback this season into next season, what's next for you and this offense?
Just to continue to get better. I mean, it's tough because you want to take what you did last year and build off it, but as we all know, look at the two teams in the Super Bowl. They weren't in the playoffs last year, and now here they are playing for the Super Bowl. So you really have to start over. You have to earn it. It's going to be a different team. We're going to have different players. You know, a lot of things will stay the same, but you have to prepare yourself so you can go win games in the 2026 season. You know, you can't expect the same thing just because we did it last year. So you got to be able to start over. You got to learn from our mistakes. You know, learn from, you know, why didn't that playoff game go better for us? Why weren't we able to win that game? You know, I look at it from my perspective. Had a couple turnovers. How can we limit those? How can we protect the ball a little bit better? Because those are so critical in playoff games when it comes down to one score. You know, you wish you had plays back, and the best thing you can do is just learn from them. And so when we're in that position again, we can take advantage of that opportunity.
Trevor, we talk a lot about Sam Darnold's journey as a top 3 pick. Went to New York, Carolina, Niners, Vikings, Seahawks. Talk a little bit about your journey, right? Coming in the league, Urban Meyer's a coach. Not obviously the situation wasn't the best there. Then you go, and you go on and so forth, and kind of what that's been like for you.
Yeah, it's been a journey for sure, and everyone's is different. You know, I'm thankful to be in Jacksonville. We love it there. It's become home for us, but it hasn't been I'd say the cleanest, you know, road and career so far for me. And I've had some ups and downs, had some adversity, had some injuries, had some bad games, some bad seasons, just a lot of stuff to learn from, and I think it gives you a lot of perspective. And I think the biggest thing is health. Being able to be out there every game this year and healthy, and to finish the season healthy. Really grateful for that. Just to be able to be out there, you can't make an impact if you're not out there. So that's the first thing. And then I think just this journey is all about learning and growing and getting better, and you can't take anything for granted. And I've learned a lot from, you know, this new staff about how to prepare, just the different things we do game plan wise. I've just learned a lot more football, and I think taking all those things that I've learned from every staff I've had, even though it hasn't gone perfect every year, it is valuable. And the experience I've played a lot of football games, and I think it's setting us up for success. You know, I've been through a lot of situations where, you know, I've failed in certain situations, I've had success in others, and I think you learn from all of it, and it makes you better moving forward.
By the way, Super Bowl parties, because I know you're going to be watching the game. They're happening all over across the country. If I wanted some unwanted guests to be not around my party, apparently you have a solution and an answer for me.
Yeah, you guys see here, we got the Zevo here. I'm here with Zevo. Perfect for hosting a Super Bowl party, any hosting at the house. We live in Florida, a lot of bugs, obviously. We love to have family and friends over, cook food, hang out, and coming inside and outside, you get a lot of bugs in the house, and Zevo's perfect, takes care of them. You plug it into the wall in your kitchen. It takes care of all those bugs for you, so you don't have to worry about them getting all over your food. So it's perfect for us in Florida. I think everybody should check it out if you host a lot of parties.
Trevor Lawrence and the Jags play at basically sea level. What about Lombard Street, which has a 27-degree incline? That's why it's wiggly, because cars in 1922 had a little bit more trouble getting down. We'll take a break, and we'll be back with Brian Urlacher on Super Bowl Today. We are back on Super Bowl today, presented by Verizon. 2 Super Bowls have gone to overtime in NFL history. One of them won by the New England Patriots. What about Good Morning Football overtime? They had a chance to interview Brian Urlacher this week.
Let's use that, Brian, as a two-time winner.
Yes.
Okay, huge part of the Bears this year. Some really special things from the Chicago Bears this year, like really, really special stuff. What was it like for you to watch?
It was fun. You know, it's been disappointing the last couple of years. The Green Bay game, right there, I'm watching these highlights. But their defense took the football away. Caleb's a beast. Caleb's a monster. Ben Johnson. I mean, I could go over everybody. It's just so exciting because there's so many guys now. You're like, oh, he's good. He's good. Loveland, he's great. Cole Kmet, the receivers. It's just so many guys now. You're like, yes, we have dudes now, and we finally have a quarterback, I feel like, for the next 15, 20 years that can lead our team.
This broke the sports radio. Seth and I talked about it a lot. The Chicago Bears head coach beats the Packers, goes in the locker room, and screams, F the Packers.
Yes.
Why great?
Why not? I mean, we're not supposed to. Lovey would never do that, but our number one goal every year was beat the Packers. Beat the Packers. Number one goal, and then win the division, win the Super Bowl. Yeah. But I love it. He did it. Number one, he beat them 2 out of 3 times. Their fans are so mad because they've been walking all over us for 10 years, right? So when they get beat, they don't like it. They handshake like, oh, well, he didn't. It was class. Well, it was great. If you watch the one when they beat the Bears up at Green Bay, he slapped him. He gave him the quick shake, slapped him. That was okay, but when our guy does it, it's not okay.
Yeah.
They don't like losing. They're not used to losing to us. They don't like it.
No way, dude. They hate it.
Tailgated at the game.
I did.
How was that?
Unbelievable. I'm not a big tailgate guy. My son plays college ball, so I went to a couple tailgates there. But the Bears tailgates, that's different. The fans are phenomenal. And we didn't tell anyone we were going. It was a good time.
Did you just like walk up?
Sneak in and
there you are. Look at that.
There was that one guy that he wants to see the Urlacher visit his
my man had to sign up at his tailgate. Brian Urlacher will come to my tailgate one day. 15 years he put the sign up.
No.
So I went through. He emailed my wife and she said he's 100 yards away from us. Let's go. So we went and I signed out. Said I finally showed up.
You're the man.
It was fun. It was cold as piss that day.
Yes, it was.
But it was fun. Bears fans are phenomenal. It was a great day. It was fun.
Tell us, the one thing I get a kick out of you, your life right now is so awesome. You live with like animals and scooping up crap and all that. What is your daily life like?
So daily life, wake up, dogs wake me up around 6:45 every day. If I'm lucky, I make it to 6:45. Let them out, go out, pick up donkey poop.
Donkeys. You got donkeys.
We have 2 mini donkeys, not too many, but 2 minis. We have 2 sheep. If I turn my back, I'll get rammed in the back by one of our sheep. So I go pick up donkey poop, throw them all hay, feed the chickens so she doesn't have to get out of bed and come out and feed them.
It's amazing.
And then we built a gym. When I say we as in me, I did everything. I wanted to hire somebody, and she said, no, we can do it. So we did it. Just begrudgingly, we did it. And anyway, and then I work out, and then I go get in the sauna, and then I go play golf.
My man.
I got to ask you.
It's a good time. And then my kids are gone, so I mean, they're all grown up now. So yeah, they're out of the house.
Brian, I got to ask you, okay? Yes. There are times as a linebacker that I watch the game and I watch defenses, and I just close my eyes and I think, man, how nice it would have been to be a linebacker of that defense. When you look at this weekend, you have really 2 good defenses. I want you to close your eyes and think, if I had to choose one defense that I would love to be in that huddle and command that, number 1, what defense would that be? And number 2, would the offense score any points?
No. I would be on Seattle's defense.
Cool.
Man, they got every level, right? They got dudes up front, they got dudes at linebacker, dudes in the secondary, and they score points too.
They do.
It's nice to play with the lead when you can rush a passer, but I also like New England because the scheme-wise they're going to be ready. They always, Vrabel's going to have them ready. What a turnaround they made this year! But 5 wins last year, 14, whatever it was. Whatever it was, I don't even know, but but Seattle's defense, they get to the football. They get to the football in a hurry. But with the rules now, of course the offense is going to score. The rules are swayed toward the offense, so they're going to score some points. No matter how good you play.
Brian, you know who's got dudes on every level? The good people at Heartflow. Incredible people. Tell us about the work you're doing.
So Heartflow, as a former player, 1 out of every 3 ex-NFL players dies from heart disease. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
One out of 5 for the normal people, but 1 out of 3 ex-NFL players dies from heart disease. I did not know that. So I went and did the heart flow test. I got a CT scan of my heart, and then came back purest heart ever. Like no issues. Really? Yeah, that's what the doctor was like.
I'm not surprised by that.
You have the purest heart of all time. You're super. perfect. And then Heartflow went in and got in on my heart, and it wasn't as pure as I thought it was. There was a little bit of plaque in there from the AI analysis they do. Nothing to be alarmed about, but the cholesterol could be a little high. But it's amazing. If you don't know, you don't know. So go get the Heartflow test done.
It is time for Always Reliable, presented by Courtyard by Marriott, as we look at two reliable parts of the New England Patriots defense. When Milton Williams and Christian Gonzalez both play, the Patriots are 12-0. They only give up 14.5 points per game. The yards per game drops to 263.8. Two big parts of the Patriots defense that I think need to play a solid game to stifle Sam Darnold, JSN, Kenneth Walker III, all of these guys who can make big plays for the Seattle Seahawks. Which, Marcus, defensive player for the Patriots needs to step up if they're going to win Super Bowl 60?
Well, we just saw one of them on that graphic there. It's going to be Christian Gonzalez for me, right? We've talked a lot this week about Jackson Smith and Jigba and how integral he is to what the Seahawks do. And this is going to be a classic case of good on good, great on great, if you want. You're talking about elite at the wide receiver going against elite at the cornerback position. So I would assume that that's the assignment that Christian Gonzalez is going to draw on most snaps. And if he is able to slow down, I don't think you can stop JSN. He's been playing so well. But if you can slow him down and try to limit his effectiveness, then that gives the Patriots a good chance to win.
I think one way, and obviously we go back to him playing with Milton Williams and the Patriots not losing at all. Milton Williams has a big impact on this game, but I also think that his fellow defensive lineman Christian Barmore has a big impact on this game because the Seahawks have had some issues on the interior of the offensive line, and Christian Barmore, literally one of the best players in the NFL when double teamed. He generated the second highest pressure rate among defensive tackles when he was double teamed and was very, very good in 54 pressures this season. When there were two players designated to him. So I think Christian Barmore could have a big impact on this game. We've got more to look forward to, including who's going to win Super Bowl 60. We don't necessarily know. The folks in the cable cars are like, wow, this is way too fast. We sped up the video, and we're speeding up our way towards Super Bowl 60, making our picks for the game and who wins the most valuable player when we come back on Super Bowl Today, presented by Verizon.
Seahawks will take on the Patriots in Super Bowl 60.
Big time throw by the MVP. I'm calling the MVP.
Another perfect pass by Sam Darnold.
Unbelievable. Super Bowl 60.
The Seahawks are going back to the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl 60 on the way Sunday from Santa Clara, just about 50 miles away, the Golden Gate Bridge, one of the many sights and sounds. Hopefully people are truly appreciating the beauty of the Bay Area this week on the way to this great game, the 60th edition of the Super Bowl. We're back here on Super Bowl Today. Patrick Claybon, Marcus Grant. Marcus, it is time. Who wins the Super Bowl and who wins the MVP?
I know it's going to be kind of chalky. I know it's what the consensus is. I'm going to go with the Seattle Seahawks. I think they are the more well-rounded team. I think they are a 30-20 winner in this one. And look, Jackson Smith and Jigba has been great all year. Why not crown what has been an amazing third season for him in the NFL with not just over 100 yards and a touchdown, but an MVP crown as well. Plus, that would give the Seattle Seahawks two Super Bowl MVP wide receivers with Cooper Kupp alongside Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Oh, there we go. Pair them up. Why don't we get some symmetry here as well? Because I will also take the Seattle Seahawks. I will take them to win this game 28-21. The MVP will be Kenneth Walker III. And I also think about symmetry from last year's Super Bowl, where the offensive coordinator wins the Super Bowl, leaves to take a head coaching job. Got a young quarterback there. Maybe there's total symmetry in that, as Clint Kubiak, I think, schemes things up for a guy who converted more third and longs, third and give up plays where it's like, oh, we'll just run a draw. And it works. And Kenneth Walker will be the player to make those particular plays in the Super Bowl, in my estimation. And the Seahawks will win. And Marcus, they will avenge That moment there on the 1 yard line where Malcolm Butler and his teammates team up to kind of take a Super Bowl away, they get the bounce back.
They get the bounce back, and then Richard Sherman can, erase all those memes of him looking distraught on the sideline or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, and also the shot of Marshawn Lynch just calmly unbuckling his chin strap. We'll be watching. They all will be watching. The Legion of Boom, Pete Carroll, everybody involved, all of you. Thanks for spending time with us this week on Super Bowl Today Vantage Point, presented by Verizon. Enjoy the Super Bowl.